Hey everybody, and welcome to another episode of Nerds with Friends. Moving the microphone in front of my mouth.
It's good podcasting.
Yeah, I know. I thought I had it where I wanted it, but I didn't. But you can't really see my face. There we go. Welcome back, everybody, to a normal episode of Nerds with Friends.
I know, it's so weird that we're not playing D&D.
For 3 episodes now, we've been doing D&D and D&D related things, right? And so it's kind of nice to be back to where we're doing what we normally do. We got some nerdy confessions lined up. Today we're going to be talking about The Batman by Matt Reeves, starring Robert Pattinson. So we got a good old normal nerdy show lined up for you guys. So thanks for coming back. Make sure you like and subscribe down at the bottom. Click the little bell to be notified when new videos come out on YouTube's. Otherwise, if you subscribe to us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Stitcher, or any of those guys, subscribe or whatever they have, follow, and they will let you know when we got new episodes coming out. Normally every Thursday. So thank you guys for stopping by. If you want to become a patron of the show, help support us a little bit, help us do fun things like that D&D mini series that we did. You can go to patreon.com/nerdswithfriends. We do appreciate that. All that information at nerdswithfriendspodcast.com.
Also, make sure and follow Dice Legends.
Dice Legends. Yeah, it was really fun talking to those guys and, getting to dabble our toes into the streaming situation. And if you are a Dice Legends fan who followed us over, welcome. We do appreciate you guys. Hopefully we got some of you guys from New Zealand over here. So,
And we're going to have them on. We're going to figure out when, but we're definitely going to have them on.
Yeah, we're working on having them on eventually. Talk some D&D stuff. So we do appreciate that. Coolios. Well, let's start off like we normally do now that we're back to normal. It's been like 3 weeks since we did a nerdy confession. So let's confess the things that make us nerds. Christian.
My nerdy confession, now hear me out. It's going to be a little weird. Is that I've been following a lot of what's going on in Ukraine.
Yeah.
But
you and everyone else.
Me and everyone. But my nerdy confession is
that you hate the Ukraine.
No.
Jesus, Christian.
They're
going through a tough time.
I'm excited about the Russian movies that are going to come out. I feel like the best villains and some of the best action movies we had were the 80s and the 90s. Where with Russians were the bad guys, and that's kind of what I'm excited. I want to see another Rocky IV.
It was kind of tough for a while there. It was just nondescript Middle Eastern person was the bad guy, and that's not as fun.
That's true. I guess True Lies, they did a little bit of it. I was trying to think. I was like, what were they doing? Like North Korea, I guess, a little bit with Olympus Has Fallen. I guess.
Yeah, and remember the Seth Rogen one that got banned because they killed Kim Jong-un.
I wonder if I still can watch that on YouTube. I remember paying YouTube to be able to watch that.
I think it's on other services now. I don't think they care anymore. It's like, whatever.
I definitely felt like this was some weird marketing when they did it. I was like, no, this is a way to see if they could try to cut through the theater.
No, I think they lost their asses on that movie. I've heard Seth Rogen talk about it. The Interview is the movie we're talking about.
That was, I guess, their last movie together, huh? Before Seth Rogen was like, bye-bye, Franco?
James Franco? Yeah. I believe so.
Because he got Me Too'd.
Yeah. It sounds like James Franco was into some less than desirable things.
I could have sworn I saw that he did an interview where he kind of like half-assed addressed it or something. Curious, you should check it out.
I don't really give
a shit. I'm not looking forward to World War III, but the movies that might come out if we survive this shite should be pretty cool, I guess. I'm always trying to look on the bright side of things.
Well, I mean, hopefully freaking Ukraine just whoops their ass.
They're doing great so far, better than what everyone thought they would be doing.
Yeah.
So
hopefully Ukraine just whoops their ass, and then from now on, there's going to be badass Ukraine commandos in movies and stuff. That'd be pretty cool.
Yeah, I know people were talking about they want to see the president. I think their President Zelensky.
I think Zelensky or something like that.
They kind of want Hawkeye to play him, which would be interesting.
Yeah, well, let's see how the fucking movie ends first before we start casting Jeremy Renner in
Isn't it crazy? That guy went from being a comedian in Ukraine to their president to now fucking national like war hero.
Yeah, well.
The Ukrainians are fucking built different. This guy went from being a comedian like, fuck it, I'm fighting in the war too.
Yeah.
Joe Biden was like, hey, let me send you a fucking plane. I'll pick up you and your family. He's like, nah, don't send us a plane. Send us fucking bullets. I'm like, Jesus Christ. You can't really see Jon Stewart doing that shit. Or fucking Chris Rock like going on the front line. Like, I don't
Definitely
know.
not Chris Rock. That'd be funny. I'd watch that movie. It's just like an In the Army Now reboot with Pauly Shore now. Fuck it, put him back in there.
Yeah, why not? He did all right. Purifying water. I fucking love Pauly Shore, man. I enjoyed the fuck out of that movie.
Oh, I love Pauly Shore too. Hey, buddy.
I feel like he always got shat on, but it's like, dude.
Well, he's a very specific style of comedy. You know, he's very like stoner friendly. You know what I mean?
Like Encino Man, I saw that shit as a kid, and that's probably one of those movies. Like if it's on, I'm gonna fucking watch it.
Encino Man, Biodome was amazing.
Biodome is fucking hilarious.
Oh, it is so good.
It is super fucking funny.
Fun fact: Biodome is the first movie that Tenacious D was introduced in. They were the band at the college or something.
Yeah, they were playing on the grass.
That's so funny.
I remember that.
Son-in-Law was another good one. In the Army Now. Is it In the Army Now?
I believe it's in the Army.
I think that's what it's called.
Where he got slightly buff. We just got a little bit of pecs.
Yeah, he just got a little bit of pecs. Yeah, so good. My nerdy confession, back to get us back to something nerdy and not potentially world ending. So Christian, I don't know if you noticed, but a little game came out called Elden Ring.
Yes. I had to pick between that and was it
Horizon?
Yes, and I picked Elden Ring because it got like a damn near perfect score.
I know. I bought both, and I think they're both great games. But here's my beef with Elden Ring, and specifically FromSoft, who is the company who designed it, created it. They hate their fans. They just... I've never played a game. I mean, I have, because I played a little bit of Bloodborne at a friend's house, and I was like, why do you like this? And then I played this other game called Nioh, which I don't know if FromSoft actually made it, but it's a very similar style of Souls-like game. And man, it is just punishing. There's just... If you mess up like one button, you're just fucked. And... but I will say the world is so interesting. Like, it seems so alive. Like, you know, there's open world games that, you know, you go around and it's like, oh, here's a town. Here's a couple people walking around. This one feels like everywhere you go, there's like creatures and wildlife and soldiers, and they're doing their own little things. Like, there's like giants pulling carts and shit. There's people who are like mining, you know, rocks and stuff. It's crazy. And it looks amazing. It's like ultra fantasy land, but god damn, is that game punishing.
I obviously have it and I've been playing it, and like I feel like some of the minuses are also some of the pluses. Like It's not like any other game where it's not going to tell you where to go. It's not going to tell you what to do. It's not going to tell you how to level up.
Right.
Which A, kind of sucks, but B, all right, it's something new. Like, I think games could get repetitive. We're like, all right, you can almost be mindless. I'm like, all right, I know where to go because the game's going to tell me where to go. So it's a plus and minus for me. But like, what sucks is like, it doesn't tell you how to level up.
Right.
It doesn't tell you what the attributes do so much. Like, I mean, like, because I played D&D, I can figure, dexterity, that's going to make me quicker. Like, strength, that's going to make my health go up. But like, I feel like if I didn't play D&D, like, I feel like it could be a little bit fucking rough.
Yeah. And I think that's kind of one of the things that FromSoft is really known for, is just not explaining their games at all. There's little like when you talk to certain NPCs, they'll give you like little like, oh, here, you know, you need to go here and here. But then there's no waypoint on your map. You don't know where that thing they talked about is. You don't know who they're talking about. And you just have to kind of figure it out. You have to like run around and run into another NPC. You're like, oh, your name is, you know, Roderick. I think, you know, so-and-so talked about you. Am I supposed to give you something? So, and then like the stats are like, it's very hard to figure out what exactly to level up next. One little trick is when you're in the level up screen and you highlight like strength, it'll show you on the right side which attributes get bigger.
Yeah.
So you can kind of figure it out based off of that. But I've run into several times where it's like, oh, I got this new cool weapon I need. And then I go to equip it. And it's like, nah, you need fucking 18 dexterity. I'm like, fuck. And I look down at my dexterity and I'm like, is that 12? Like, why do I need to get so much? So I'm finding cool weapons and I can't even use them. And so like, aside from like this one helmet and this one shield that I found, like I haven't found anything that's better than my starter sword and my starter armor, which is not something I'm used to. I'm used to being like Destiny, just being overloaded with fucking loot. But I will say I'm starting to enjoy it, just exploring around and finding stuff. But I think one of the things I've noticed about this game, and in turn, FromSoft games in general, like Demon Souls, what's the other one? Bloodborne.
One crazy thing is
Dark Souls. That's what I was thinking.
One crazy thing is I've never seen a game where, like, if this was D&D, where you're a level 1 and they'll put you against like a frost giant, or like not put you. You have the option.
Yeah,
you
the
can
option.
go around the frost giant, but it's like a first time like players like, oh, obviously he's here. Obviously he's the enemy. I gotta
This
fight
must
it.
be a tutorial boss or
Yeah.
something. It's like,
Nope.
no, he just fucking destroys you. Yeah, it's like I said, I think they hate the players. They've designed the game to be just brutally punishing. If you're curious about like, oh, what's over here? Oh, there's a fucking boss that'll two shot you.
Yeah, there's a fucking dragon to the right of the map, like right away.
Yeah.
And I didn't even see the NPC till like later on. He's like, oh, don't go to that lake unless you're fucking insane. There's a dragon over there. You don't want to do that. I was like, oh, cool. Thanks, guy.
It's so crazy.
But at the same time, I'm enjoying the fuck out of the game. So
yeah, it took me a while. Like I was very frustrated in the beginning, but now I'm starting to like, now that I've spent hours upon hours just farming runes, which are like the currency in the game.
it's the XP. If
The
we're
XP,
talking D&D,
yeah. Yeah, but it's also like, it's like XP and gold
Yeah, and
combined,
currency,
because you
yeah.
can buy stuff with it too. I spent hours and hours doing boring shit, leveling my guy up, and now I'm having a good time. But it's like, god damn, bro, like, can't you just make this game fun from the start? In fact, the first thing when you start the game, you create your character, you walk across this bridge, and a boss comes out, and that boss has to kill you. That boss has to kill you for the game to start. Because like, there's been guys who like, who beat it and stuff because they're just hella good. And then the game like just drops you off a cliff or something at some point because you have to die. They're like, get ready. This is going to fucking suck for a while. But yeah, man, it is a good game. I will say it reminds me of Breath of the Wild,
Only Breath of the Wild mechanics
was fun. Yeah, it was way more fun.
Well, I'm not going to say the game's not
That's
fun.
true. That's true.
What I do want to say is
It was
like,
fun from the beginning.
maybe if
Much more forgiving.
Maybe I need to up my dexterity a whole lot more.
Yeah.
But the timing of the buttons and what your character does is really slow.
Right.
I feel like my timing is pretty good on games, and particularly Breath of the Wild. Like I rarely got hit by a projectile. I was really good at like just smacking it back.
Yep.
But like on this game, like, and I've seen people play where like they're fighting bosses and they swing their giant sword and then bing, they just like, knock them back and then you can attack. And I'm like, oh, I want to do this shit. And I'm like, swing, whack. And then they hit you. It's like, okay, so.
Murdered.
Yeah.
You are dead.
I was like, I guess my character's really slow. And we were talking off air that I was enjoying the bandit, but I think it's because he starts off with his dexterity really high. Mm-hmm. So I don't know if I just need to level that up with whatever next character I'm going to play. Because, and again, we were talking off air. I didn't realize if you start the game and I was just like, you know what? I kind of want to try a little bit of each character to see which one I want to start. And then I could always go back and like whatever one I leveled up, it's like, oh, when you save the game and you go to load, nope, it's the last character you did. I didn't know that. So
cool.
All these hours I've been playing was just for nothing. So
Well, my first like 4 or 5 hours of playing got corrupted and deleted. So I had
count
like
myself lucky.
Yeah, I imagine like I had gotten summoning spells where I could summon those wolves. I had the horse. I had I beaten one or two mini bosses. I had leveled up several things, and I'd unlocked the secret base area where it's like your home base you can travel to. And then I opened it up the next time to play, and it was just like, oh, I'm here at the beginning again. I'm like, what the fuck? I was so mad. But I've been playing it now, and I am having a good time. I am excited to play more of it, but God, it's a punishing game. So if you're looking for like a light-hearted game to just, relax a little bit after work, get Horizon Forbidden West. Because that game's awesome too. I've been playing it. We won't do a review today on it, but it fixed a lot of the complaints I had with the first game. Very fun. Story's engaging from the beginning. It's a lot of fun, but goddamn, Elden Ring.
Also, one thing, they should be able to take off the fucking notes that random people can put on the floor. When I first started the game, I saw all these things. I was hitting the notes, and one said, jump off the cliff. And I was just like,
oh, they got you.
Nope, I didn't jump.
Oh, nice.
I didn't do it. I was just like, that's stupid. Because I just creeped over and I looked down the edge. I'm like,
there's nothing down there.
There's nothing fucking down there. And then I was like, no, something is wrong. And I had to Google search it. I'm like, oh, you can leave notes for random people.
It's just a fucking meme where they do that to fuck with people.
No, and there was like, hey, have fun coming up next. And it's that one boss where you have to die. Yeah. And I was like, oh, okay. And some people were like, oh, behind this wall, there's an item that you need to get. And it's like, there's no fucking way to get past this wall. But
I know.
What I thought was interesting, the fucking note where it tells you to jump off the cliff, I'm like, wait a second, because once you go later on, there is an NPC that tells you, fall down, traveler, or whatever they are. It's like, you have to go down here, and it takes you to a tutorial. I'm like, oh. Yeah. So there are parts where you got to take a plunge. I'm like, okay. Yeah. It's fun. It's I'm having fun. And I feel...
Try fingers, but whole.
Yeah. That's everywhere.
Yeah. Because... I think the thing is when you leave a message, there's certain words and phrases, and you can add them up together. But you can't type in whatever you want. So, like, try fingers is, like, one phrase, and then butthole is another one. And so people are like, this is funny. I don't know, man. It's a weird game to like. It's just...
I feel like it has a lot of things going against it, but I still want to play it.
Yes. I think that, from what I've seen... I think that that's kind of what's interesting about From Software is that despite of all the things that would otherwise make a shitty game, the content is so engaging that it becomes a good game. Like let's face it, the controls suck.
The controls do suck. But again, I feel like just from watching other people just do amazing shit in the game, I'm like, I probably just have to level my character up.
Maybe, but one thing too is like, let's compare it to Breath of the Wild, right? You can hack and slash at enemies, right? Yep. But in this game, every time you hack and slash, that input ties to an animation. And if you mash the button 3 times, he's going to do 3 animations, whether you want him to stop or not. And so, like, sometimes, you got to be very precise with your...
And that's what I'm saying. It's like you hit it, and it's almost
slash heavy.
Have a second later, the character will do it.
Yep.
And it's like, I hated my buddies who were, like, super pro Street Fighter players where they're like, oh, the frame rate's off. Like, what the fuck are you talking about, frame rates?
Right.
But now with this, I'm like, okay, no, I fucking get it.
It's, like, exaggerated. Exactly. Yeah, in a game like Street Fighter, like... You're not as punished for button mashing. You can if you hit punch twice, it's not that big a deal. You can kind of cancel out with a different combo. This one, you can't do that. If you hit the light attack twice, you're doing 2 light attacks as slow as that guy is going to go. So yeah, it's punishing for sure.
And this is one game.
No tutorial, no explanation of anything, no waypoints or actual missions. If you could go through the whole movie or a whole video game and not do any side quests because you just never talk to NPCs.
This is one game where I feel like the magic users are a lot stronger than the melee fighters.
They could be.
Like, I started very briefly, and I was doing super well with one of the magic guys, and I started with one of the melee guys. I'm like, oh, I'm getting fucking destroyed left and right.
Yeah. It's a different game depending on what you're doing. But my friend Joe has a really cool spell, but he uses a staff that uses intelligence, which my guy does not have any intelligence really. So, but it's a powerful spell. But if someone comes up close to him, he just gets wrecked because he's got no shield and no vitality or whatever. But yeah, it's an interesting game. I think if you're into fantasy and if you like From Software games like Dark Souls, Bloodborne, Demon Souls, like it's 100% like that, but turned up to 11, like open world. So it's not linear like those other games where if you get stuck at a boss, you just can't play the game anymore. You have to go back, to the beginning and farm until you can get past it. If you run into something you can't get by, just go left or right, and there's something else there that you probably can take on.
Can't wait to see how George R.R. Martin ruins the ending for this game. Gives it the old fucking Game of Thrones treatment.
Yeah, all your favorite characters die. Santa Claus was behind it the whole time. You fuck.
We keep saying Santa Claus. There's an NPC. Yeah. And actually, if you look at him closer, he doesn't really look like Santa Claus, but he does. But
he's wearing a red and white hat.
Yeah, but like underneath, he has almost like a court jester outfit.
Yeah,
but he does have like
a weird
red cape over. Yeah.
Character design is very strange. Also, some weird looking folks in this game.
Someone was definitely on acid, and they were just like, "Here you go." They just took some some concept artists. Here, take some acid and drop some stuff.
Also, I like that I spent like 20 minutes creating my character, and then he just has a helmet on. You can't see shit. I'm like, well, I know he looks cool under there.
Yeah.
Oh God. But yeah, let us know, guys. Are you playing Elden Ring? What do you think of it? Did you give up after the first 10 minutes, or are you having a good time with it? I just beat Margit yesterday, who's the first story boss, so that's pretty fun.
I don't know that. I'm not even that far, so
I'll help you once you get there.
Yeah, for sure.
All right, guys, we're going to take a quick little break, and when we get back, we're going to be talking about Matt Reeves' The Batman, starring Robert Pattinson. Pattinson.
Bob Pattinson.
We'll be right back. And we're back. Okay, Christian, a new Batman movie came out.
That's X-Men.
I know. I started singing it before I could remember how the Batman song went, so I just went with it. It's not a bad Batman song.
No, it's not Batman.
So The Batman came out a couple weeks ago now for you guys listening. Hopefully you've had a time to see it. First of all, spoiler-free review, Christian. Is it worth people's time?
Yes.
100%, I'd say.
Yes, it was good.
I'd say it's probably it's either the first or second best Batman movie, I would say. Overall movie, like quality of movie. Maybe not, like in our episode, portrayal of Batman and that sort of thing.
I have some things I want to say that'll make it better, but this is going to probably piss some people off, but I like it better than the Christopher Nolan ones.
I liked it better than... It's almost tied with The Dark Knight. I really like The Dark Knight. I think Heath Ledger did an amazing job with the Joker. I think
I'm not talking about specific actors or characters. I'm talking about movie-wise.
I think you might be right, because if I'm thinking of it as a Batman movie, I think The Dark Knight by itself was a very good movie. Mm-hmm. I think as a Batman movie, this might be the best Batman movie we've ever seen.
Agree.
Does that sound right?
Yep.
Did I hedge my bets enough for your YouTube and podcasting? Look, guys, this is just my... I hate that on YouTube. Look, this is just my opinion. Everyone could do the different...
What do you mean?
Obviously, it's my opinion. That's what we're talking about.
Like, that's what this whole show is. You don't speak for everyone? What are you talking about? You don't speak for all
This is, objectively...
I'm speaking for all our listeners.
The best Batman movie that has ever been made and ever will be made. Thank you very much.
Anyone who says otherwise is fucking wrong.
Yeah. Fucking conspiracy. But yeah, 100% worth the watch. I know it's kind of long. It's almost 3 hours long. It does not feel 3 hours. Does not feel like 3 hours long. So definitely get out there in the theaters. Check it out. Check it out in 4DX like we saw it.
I enjoyed it. I actually really enjoyed it. I think I would be down to do 4DX again, but I definitely need like a hat. Anyone with for anyone who doesn't know, we have a 4DX theater here.
Yeah, what is 4DX?
So the chairs will move, not like what's the other one? Not like a D-box.
D-box.
If you guys have D-boxes.
Where it's just like, oh.
No, this shit.
It's like, oh my God.
I definitely had to wait till there was talking. I'm like, all right, I know there's not going to be any action. All right, I could take a sip of my soda right now. Popcorn, you had to like be like shock absorbers with your
it's
arms.
weird that theater serves soup.
Yeah. It was
clam chowder, no.
I know, right? All over your fucking chest. Come out looking like you came out.
Why is it so hot?
Come out looking like you took a money shot in the theater.
Yeah. Sometimes people do.
Gotta take a shot in the mouth, depending who the date is.
Every time you gotta take it.
Every time. But it was. I enjoyed it. The 4DX seats. So there's like little air pressure points in the back, a little chute. That was actually really cool too. When there was gunfire, like it goes like. Does feel like something's going past your ear.
Or like they have the thing that hits the back of your legs when Catwoman, this is not really a spoiler, she uses her whip to bolo a guy. They hit the back of your legs. You're like, oh, I got bolo.
Yeah, they're not smacking you really hard.
It's not bad. It's just a little tickle.
There was also like when there was gunshots, there was flashing on the top of the movie
smoke
theater.
And stuff when there's fire.
Yeah,
and
or explosions.
Yeah.
It was cool. I enjoyed it. I definitely want to watch it again just because the chair moving was a little bit of a distraction.
Right.
So they're
100%. Or the fans and stuff. I thought this was really cool was the rain.
Yeah, no, the rain.
It's rainy in this movie a lot because it's Gotham and it's dark and gritty and whatever. But you actually feel rain droplets. It's not crazy. You're not getting soaked, but I thought that was very immersive.
No, it was cool. It's just that I enjoyed it, and you're not like cold or anything. It's just that sometimes I got on my glasses. I'm like, fuck. My glasses and put them back on.
You gotta get a little windshield wiper first.
Yeah, or contacts or something.
Yeah.
But yeah, the 4DX was cool.
100% worth it. So go out there, check it out, guys. But we're gonna get into some spoilers. Ooh, so many spoilers. That's how it's like playing Elden Ring. I hit it.
You hit it, and then like 3 seconds later.
So if you haven't seen the Batman and you're worried about spoilers, you should probably pause this, leave it on in the background, mute the volume, because we could use the listens. But come back and listen after you watch it. Oh my God, Christian, this movie was the Batman movie I'd been waiting for so long.
It was great to finally see him be a detective.
Right.
So that was what's awesome. Like, and he's actually trying to figure out a crime. I mean, you always hear in the comics he's the world's greatest detective.
Right.
But you don't really actually see him do any detecting in the
movies.
movies.
I think, one thing is that Batman is an interesting character because there's like so many versions of what Batman is, right? Originally, he was a detective, right? That the world's greatest detective. He's out there solving crimes, street level crimes, right? And then kind of you get the supervillain thing happening, but they were always normal people who had like one little like James Bondian, defect to them, right? That made them, the Riddler guy likes riddles. The Joker guy does a bunch of gag joke stuff. And so he eventually grew into this guy who is like, essentially Iron Man, where he's stepping up against people who are super powered against him, and he's dealing with the Justice League. And that's a totally different Batman. And I'd say that even the Batman that we saw in Christopher Nolan's movies was a Batman who was like this, like superhero level, hero in the movie where he's like saving the entire city all the time. Right? Like,
sure. I can't imagine Christian Bale being next to like Superman.
No. And I'm saying he's not. He's just saving Gotham. You know what I mean? Like there was the Ra's al Ghul train thing with the Scarecrow,
the
gas or whatever. There was the Joker, blowing stuff up. It's like they're big things for him to save, but they're citywide things. And this one felt a lot like smaller and condensed, where it's like He's solving the crime about the Riddler, and he's trying to get to the bottom of this mystery.
Yep.
And I love that. Like, that's like the Batman that I really enjoy, because it's like it gets harder and harder to buy him like fighting Brainiac or whatever alongside Superman, you know. But this feels very much at home with who I perceive Batman as.
I also enjoyed that we didn't need to see the origin story. Like,
right.
We know it.
Like, we get it.
We see it multiple times.
Yeah.
Same thing with like when they introduced Tom Holland Spider-Man. Like, we get it.
Right.
We don't need.
I think they learned from that for sure. You know, everyone knows the Batman story. We did see some Thomas Wayne, which is funny because like in all the other Batman movies, we see like them get killed, right? But we don't see Thomas Wayne and why he was so important.
Right.
In this movie, we actually see like he was running for mayor and he set up that renewal program and everything. And so what did you think of the Riddler?
I liked it. I saw a lot of people were talking shit about the actor or
Paul Dano.
Yeah. I enjoyed it. He was creepy. I enjoyed his first
I could have gone without the mask, but I see why they did it.
I was fine with it. I don't mind if people are trying something new. I mean, look what Heath Ledger did with the Joker. Was something new, was something different.
Right.
And it worked. But in particular, people were like, when, spoiler, he ends up in Arkham.
Well, we're in the spoiler section.
And when he's in Arkham and he's talking to Batman and like how like he'll go into a laugh.
That was great.
I liked it, yeah, but people were talking shit about it. I was like, dude, like, that ridiculous, stupid laugh. I'm like, yeah, he's fucking insane. Of course he has a ridiculous, stupid laugh.
Well, that's like, think about a guy who goes around committing crimes and leaving fucking riddles. Yeah. That guy's a crazy person. You know what I mean? Like, we forget that. We think of like, and you know, like the Jim Carrey or even the animated series Riddler is what a lot of people expect.
The onesie with the top hat? Or
the green bowler hat with the cane with the question mark on it. Riddle me this, Batman. But if we think about like, if this is much more grounded and realistic, which I think Matt Reeves, who directed, I think he wrote it too, this movie, he's really interested in grounding things. And I think they did a good job while still making it feel like a Batman movie.
Yeah. One of my critiques is that I wish it was rated R.
Yeah.
Not even just for Batman's sake,
but for Catwoman.
Yeah, for sure.
I wish it was NC-17. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, she's pretty hot.
God damn.
No, but for the Riddler because he's murdering people,
right?
And
we didn't get to see the guy's face all chewed off and stuff.
I mean, like and again, I'm a horror fan, so like I'm not. I do enjoy some gore on film, but like if you're gonna make him like this psychopath, like show a little bit of gore. And a lot of people were debating like you don't need to make it the PG or it doesn't need to be R to be like creepy or scary. Like you can make it PG-13. It's like, but you kind of need a little bit of the R in there. That's like one of my slight critiques. Just it would have given the Riddler a little bit more room for being that psycho that he was trying to be.
Right.
Nothing against the actor. He's working PG-13.
Yeah, it was just everything that happened was off frame. He's like, you see him just wailing on nothing, you know? So it's like, I thought it was as good as they could have done by keeping it PG-13,
Yeah.
It could have been gorier or whatever. I would have loved to have seen that from Batman when he's just beating the shit out of those thug guys. And I love that in Frank Miller's Batman where he's like punching and like teeth are flying up and stuff. Like that's what I'm all about.
He's not killing, but he comes close.
Yeah, but he's maiming for sure. I think everyone cast in this movie was fantastic. Zoe Kravitz as Catwoman, I think, is hands down the best Catwoman we've ever seen.
Dude,
and I'm a big Michelle Pfeiffer fan.
And she actually went to try to get the part in Christopher Nolan's movie. And your boy Christopher Nolan, who I've said is a
Anne Hathaway's hot though. I can't.
Is a great director.
Yeah.
Terrible storyteller.
Yes.
Did not pick her because she was too urban, aka
black.
Yeah, exactly.
Ooh, you're too urban, too ethnic. No, I thought she was fantastic.
She was awesome. No, she was great. Even like when she's playing, I forget the cat, Kyle.
Selena Kyle.
Yeah, like going into the club, like all of that, like was great. Where she's like she's helping, but she's giving a bunch of pushback, you know? And it's like, you know, like she didn't want to help him, but like, and that was also kind of cool to enjoy where Batman's like, well, you know, I need to figure out this crime, and if I need to twist your arm to do this, I'm going to twist your arm like to do this. So it was kind of cool seeing like that side of Batman.
Yeah, and I think she did a great job of making Selena Kyle more of a character rather than just having her as like, you know, oh, she's a hot cat burglar lady that Batman loves or whatever. It's like, no, she's actually her own character with her own story and her own motivations. And it was so good. And I liked her costume. Very minimal, but like, you know, when she has the ski mask thing on, it has the little ears on it.
Yeah, it just looked like it was
like a beanie with like seams that resembled ears. Oh, it looked great. I thought she did an excellent job. Let's talk about Colin Farrell.
Oh,
as the Penguin.
Fantastic, man. Like he was great.
And when you look like I would like to know how that casting happened. Because when you're thinking, okay, we need Oswald Cobblepot, this gross looking penguin gangster guy, Colin Farrell, Mr. Dreamboat, Mr. Irish hot boy.
Yeah, I was watching an interview with him, and
we're gonna cover him in a fat suit. Yeah, I watched that too.
Yeah, and he was talking about like the makeup stuff, and he was giving the makeup artist props. Where he was saying like, if it wasn't for them, like there was a bunch of facial movements that I wanted to do, and he said like I didn't think I was going to be able to act well. He's like, yeah, a lot is your words, but it's also like how you're reacting. But he just said they made everything where like. Even slight facial movements.
They like,
he did.
You know, made it so when he moved his eyebrows, the eyebrows moved, and you know all his lips.
Dude, I was looking. I was trying to see, like, all right, where can I see? Like...
I kept trying to tell. I'm like, I know it's Colin Farrell. Let me try to see the seams, and I just couldn't. He looked amazing.
Yeah, the only way you could tell was the big bulge in his pants where his dick was. That was the
big old dick.
That was the only way you could tell it was him.
Yeah, you could see it too a lot. No,
Penguin had a beak down there.
Yeah, you smuggling fish down there. I thought the voice he did was great. I thought the character he did was great, where he's kind of fucking with Batman.
Yeah,
where he's like. I don't know who she is, but she's hot. And he's like, Jesus Christ.
He definitely he was a great mobster where like he played it very well where like it's almost like he didn't know how dangerous Batman was just yet.
Right.
But it was enough where it was like, okay, I'm testing him out. Like I'm not exactly afraid, but this dude's could seem like he'd be fucking dangerous. So.
Right. Exactly. Yeah. You could see that he hasn't seen the full power of Batman yet. And let's be real. This takes place 2 years into Batman's career. Batman hasn't become a force to be reckoned with quite yet. You know what I mean? Like he does take several shots in this movie where he's getting beat up from behind and stuff.
I do enjoy.
He wins the fights, but it's not always pretty.
He takes the Jackie Chan treatment where
like
he wins, but he took a bunch of shots. But what I was going to say is I did enjoy how much the cops did not like him.
Yes.
Where, like, I feel like that's very realistic. Like, they even said he's a fucking vigilante. Like, why are we letting him in
What's he doing here? Yeah. And I think because it's so early in his career, we don't normally see that. It's always like, Commissioner Gordon says he's cool, so he's okay by us. He's Gotham's hero. This one's like, dude, who is this fucking crazy guy? Why is he here tampering with evidence? Which I thought was cool to see that relationship. I thought Jeffrey Wright as Jim Gordon was fantastic.
I knew he was going to kill it. That was one.
He's great in like everything.
That was one where it's like, all right, I know he's going to be awesome.
I thought, and the creme de la creme with him was when he's interrogating Batman. He's like, "Give me a minute." He's like, "We got to get you out of here," and he's trying
because his gestures look like he's like reprimanding him, and he's mad. He's like, "You need to get the fuck out of here right now.
Take this key out of my hand." It's like, "Oh shit." And he's like, "You're going to have to punch me in the face." I love that. And then when Batman punches him in the face and they meet up later, he's like, "Man, you could have pulled your punch." He's like, "I did." I was like, "Fuck yeah." And that's one thing is in this movie, there was not a lot of humor.
No.
And that's okay. You hear that, superhero movie makers? It's okay not to make it so it's a joke a minute. But having a little levity, like that scene where he's like, "I did pull the punch." You're like, "Oh, fuck, that's kind of funny." That like that's enough. We don't need Robert Pattinson to be like, he's like, riddle me this, you're dead, or whatever, like something stupid. It doesn't make the movie better if that's not what the movie's trying to be. How about our boy Andy Serkis as Alfred?
He was amazing.
I think my only complaint with him is we didn't see more of him.
Yeah, that's fair.
Alfred didn't do much. He was like solving crossword puzzles for a while, and then he got blown up.
That's one part where I think I even turned and looked at everyone else. I was like, because there's a part where
did they just kill Alfred?
Yeah, he gets blown. I was just turning. I was like, if Andy Serkis is fucking dead, I'm done with this fucking movie. But no, he survives, which is cool. Agreed. It would have been cool to see more of Alfred.
How about Carmine Falcone? That was a fun surprise. I didn't know he was going to be in this movie.
I was surprised the actor they picked because
John Turturro.
Yeah, because he's usually like a comedian. Like you see him, you think the dude. I forgot.
The Jesus.
Yeah, licking the bowling ball and stuff.
Yeah,
but he fucking killed it. No, he was great.
He's great. He's a great actor. He's been in some serious roles, but he always does play kind of like that character role. But man, he just played like this cool, collected like monster guy.
What's great is like when you see a villain who doesn't need to get crazy, raise his voice, but he's still fucking like scary.
Yeah.
And that he definitely had that. Like he had this calm, like I have everything under fucking control.
Right.
Right. Yeah, that was cool. I enjoyed that. Yeah. What? Getting back to the Riddler, and since we already said spoilers, I did enjoy that in his psychopathic mind, he thought that him and Batman were friends.
Right.
That Batman was helping him out.
Right.
That every clue he left him was meant for Batman to figure out and just lure. There were just chess pieces, and he was just aligning them. That was pretty cool. I didn't see that coming. That was a cool twist that I really enjoyed.
How about at the end when you think that he knows who Batman is,
and you see fucking Batman sweating?
He's like, Bruce Wayne, and you're like, oh fuck, he's gonna do it. And he's like looking up at the camera. He's like, fuck, I'm gonna have to kill this guy. And then he's like, Bruce Wayne's the only guy we didn't get, the two of us. And we're like, oh fuck.
Yeah.
And that, to me, it's funny because to me that's a defining character trait of the Riddler, is that he thinks he's the smartest guy in the room.
Yeah.
And he misses something big, and Batman outsmarts him. Like that, to me, is like the defining characteristic of their relationship, and it was played out so perfectly in that scene.
Like even behind the cowl, and you can see like Robert Pattinson just like you could see he was sweating and like he was nervous. He played that very well, where it's like
he did a tremendous job as Batman, not doing a lot.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? We have Christian Bale. Where is he? We didn't get a lot of that. It was a lot of just like looks and standing still and like little one-word answers. And it really added to Batman's character. So when he does blow up and he's punching the glass at the Riddler, what did you do? It's like, oh shit. He's freaking out because he doesn't know what's going on. I thought he did an excellent job, but yeah, he was sweating in that scene, sweating bullets.
I thought I went in there thinking that Robert Pattinson was going to suck. I thought he was going to go in there. It was going to be bad. And I'd seen him in Tenet and I'd seen him in Lighthouse. I'm like, all right, I don't know. I guess he could be able to do it. I still had mixed feelings watching the movie. And I think that's a me thing, because I've seen him in other things. And I think for so long, I was thinking that he's not going to do a good job as Batman, that I couldn't get over it, which is another reason why I want to watch it again. So I'm holding that judgment whether he did a good or bad job.
I think he did a good job. Now, here's the thing is like, when I'm thinking about him as Batman, I'm thinking of him as early Batman, where he's still figuring things out, right? Yeah. His Bruce Wayne was non-existent. He was just like this like morose hermit dude. And that's kind of how he would be. He probably has to, Alfred probably has to coast him out, be like, look, you have to,
like
put on
people
a front
to fucking figure this shit out.
If you don't want to think the dude in the creepy tower who only comes out at nighttime is Batman, like you need to fucking make an appearance. I think that will come in the future. but I really liked how he carried himself as Batman. Though I will say, I wish he was bulkier. Like we see him the one time with his shirt off, and I'm like, I feel like I could take that guy.
Yeah, he wasn't big.
Right.
I knew that was going to happen because during the pandemic, he said when production got shut down, he wasn't continuing his gym regimen.
Yeah,
so
a bunch of cheat days.
Yeah. So, I mean, who knows? Maybe they'll push him on the next one where they're going to be like, hey, you need to get a little bit bulkier. Like, he's going to be a little bit stronger.
Yeah.
Or he's going to have to go against bigger guys. So, we'll see. Who knows? That didn't bother me so much.
Look what's happening on the video.
Oh, I've been seeing that for a long time where it looks like you're having a seizure on camera, and which I was curious if that's going to show up on the video. But no, I definitely saw it.
It's pretty cool that you're not doing it.
No.
But I'm doing it.
I was wondering if I can see it. Nope.
Oh, that's interesting. All right.
Well, we'll find out. Either you guys are going to see what we're talking about, or we sound crazy. So.
Yeah. Oh, you can dance if you want to.
See, what you guys have just figured out that Cody's been a fucking robot this whole time, and he's now malfunctioning.
Yeah, exactly. Well, one thing is I try not to stare at this thing when we're recording. But you know, hey, what are you gonna do? All right, we're back. Hopefully my face wasn't too crazy for an entire time. If it was, I apologize. We're doing a new setup right now, so you know, we're feeling it out. Anyway, back to Batman. I think everyone did a tremendous job in this movie, and I think that it's the Batman movie I've been wanting for so long, and I'm really enjoyed it.
Yeah, I'm excited to see where they go with it next. I don't think it's going to tie into the other
definitely not
DCU movies.
I can't see it. It feels so different.
Yeah. Well, who knows? Now that they're doing multiverse and they're trying to copy Marvel, who knows? I don't know. Maybe they'll find a way.
Maybe. Now, what are some complaints you had of the movie? Anything you felt missed the mark?
You know, and again, I think it's me, and I need to watch it again. But like at times, just seeing Mr. Pattinson, but
Pattinson.
Again, I think it's me. So I mean, I'm not gonna say it was a perfect movie. I'm trying to think. There was one thing, and I said it right after the movie. This Batman saved no one. Everyone.
Well, that's one of the, you know, this is the biggest spoiler of all, is that like he basically fails in the end. Like he doesn't even really catch the Riddler. The Riddler basically turns himself in. And he doesn't stop the Riddler's grand plan from happening. He doesn't save any of those murder victims, even though he figures it out just in time. He literally doesn't save anyone. But I think, to me, really what the story of this movie is Batman transitioning from being a masked vigilante out for vengeance to a superhero.
Yeah, no, for sure.
You know, because the whole beginning of the movie, like, they don't actually call him the Batman that often. Like, they only say Batman like once or twice. But he constantly says, "I'm vengeance," right? He's out for vengeance. And so in the beginning, when he beats up those thugs, and you see the man that he saves, he's like, "Please don't hurt me," and you know he's just as afraid of Batman as the thugs were. But by the end, he figures out that he has to do more than just beat up the bad guys. He has to be a symbol of hope for the city of Gotham. So he's helping the little kid out of the wreckage and stuff. And you see he's carrying the torch, and the city's following him. That was an excellent shot. So it really shows how he had to rise up past what he had initially thought of himself as, and become a hero that the city deserves. So, an excellent movie. I guess my critique would be, like, I wasn't crazy about the look of the bat suit. Parts of it were great. It definitely has a good silhouette most of the time, except it looked like he was wearing cargo pants. And I thought,
again, it's year 2. You know, he's figuring it out. He's trying to figure out what's going to work, what's not.
Yeah, I mean, he could find some better pants though. It wasn't cargo pants necessarily. He had like a big holster of something down on his, like, by his knee. And like that scene when he's walking out of the flames with the Batmobile behind him, which the Batmobile is fucking sick.
Yeah, it was fucking it was dope.
But when he's walking the themes, he has this impressive silhouette where it's Batman and his cape's flowing in with the fire behind him. He's got this big old lump down on his knee. I'm like, ugh. That was one of the things I didn't care for. Also, we didn't talk about this, but I didn't care for the fact that they shoehorned in the Joker.
That was gonna be my next thing. I mean,
I wonder if that was a studio thing, like a studio pressure.
maybe. I mean, it's the guy from the Eternals,
Right.
And I mean, they
Druig.
don't. Yeah, Druig. They don't say it's the Joker, but we know it's the Joker.
Yeah, he talks about, they think of you as a clown, and then he has a creepy laugh, and then he looks like the Joker when they see his
my
face.
thing is like, bring in the Joker eventually, but I don't think they need to bring him in right away. The Riddler was great.
Yeah, build up to the Joker. You know what I mean? Like, I don't understand why everyone's like, oh, the Joker and Batman, like, we have to do that. You don't have to do it yet. Build up to it.
Yeah.
Like even the Christopher Nolan one did it in the second movie. But it's like,
I mean, they just showed it the card, in the first one. That was it.
Right,
so.
exactly. But it's like
there's just so many more villains you can use.
I would love to see, and I think Robert Pattinson even said, I would love to see a Mr. Freeze in this universe.
Well, no one's gonna top, Arnie's doing Mr. Freeze,
and literally anyone could top that.
I don't know. I feel like Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Simon says, "Freeze."
To me, Arnie can do no wrong, man. Like, I feel even like if you name one of his worst movies, I probably still defend it. But yeah, Mr. Freeze would be great. We were talking after the theater. They could never do it in this universe the way it's set, but I'd like to see a Clayface.
I think they could do it if like they did the actor Clayface and his face just kind of like he could like change the skin or the bone structure, not like a big clay man walking around.
It's just that the animated series with Mark Hamill did a lot of great Clayface stories, and I would love to see it. I don't know. I doubt in this universe they'd be able to do it.
I don't think you can do like at least I don't think it would fit very well, the full on super powered superheroes. You know what I mean? Like, I think you have to go kind of like Bond villain, where it's like, okay, this guy was born with a thing where like his skin was extra malleable and he can kind of like melt it into different things.
I think would work great.
And then at the end you see his like face drooping and stuff.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh, Clayface.
I think it would be cool in this universe, and like this director could do it, because I think if you just allow him to get a little bit more creepy. And I forgot the villain's name with the mannequin with the Tommy gun. I think that'd be really great.
Oh, yes.
I don't remember that villain's name, but I think it would be great to see a ventriloquist guy like just being super fucking
that would be weird.
Creepy. I think it'd be weird, but I think it would work with this guy, with this director. I think he could pull it off.
Well, yeah, that's why I think Mr. Freeze would be a very good one, because Mr. Freeze has a very compelling story.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He's trying to save his wife, and that's what kind of drives him to live this life that he's put out, and his condition where he has to be cold all the time is a side effect from things he's tried to do to save her. It's like, it's a good story. But I would love to see like how he would look in this universe. Cause like I think that having a grittier version of him where he's got some sort of homemade suit that keeps him cold would be,
I'd be down.
Fucking sick.
I will say this.
Scarecrow, I think, would work very well.
That was just what I was about to say, but that's one thing where I will say that I think Christopher Nolan did perfect casting. Was
Cillian Murphy.
Yeah.
Cillian
Murphy was perfect as the Scarecrow, both as the Doctor and the Scarecrow. It would be tough. Even just bring him in. Just bring him back. That would be an awesome one. That would be cool to see.
I could see a Deathstroke.
Deathstroke?
Deathstroke is from G.I. Joe, I think.
Maybe.
He's the guy with the silver head. Correct me if I'm wrong.
That's strobe? Like a strobe light?
Just Stro. I don't know.
He's German.
I am Deathstroke. But I don't need to look up Deathstroke. Let's be real. I think he's a very grounded character who could be a very good foil for Batman.
It'd be awesome if you got Joe Manganiello to do it.
Yeah.
Just come back.
I'd be down for him to come back and just
he's gonna fucking tower over Robert Pattinson. I don't know how tall he is, but I know Joe Manganiello's a fucking beast of a human.
Yeah. He's definitely buffer, that's for sure. But yeah, I think I'm excited to see what happens next. I'm less excited about another Joker movie. Because again, you're setting yourself up. Like, first of all, look at the two Jokers we've had. We've had Jack Nicholson, amazing.
Yeah.
And then we had Heath Ledger, also amazing.
And the guy in the Adam West one,
Caesar something. I forget what his last name is. I always want to say Caesar Milan, but that's
I think he would have been. He looked super creepy. I think if you put him in like even a PG-13 movie back then, he would have done fucking fantastic.
Yeah, PG-13 didn't exist back then.
Yeah, that's true. But like, I guess an R. But if you allowed him to go creepy, it would have been really fucking.
It would have been cool. Yeah. But yeah, I'm excited.
Or Willem Dafoe. No one has put him in there, man. Like, come on.
Willem Dafoe
as the Joker, he'd be great.
Well, 20 years ago, it would have been perfect timing.
I think now it still work.
He can't be beat up by Batman.
Why not? I don't know. Fucking, he did great as the Green Goblin. He was beating up Tom Holland left and right.
Yeah. Oh my God, he's so good. That was a mistake not putting him in any Batman movie.
No, for sure.
I hate to say it, but like
maybe they
him in the Heath Ledger movie would have been great.
Maybe they're just only allowed one big dick villain. You know, they're like, dude, we already got Colin. We can't have another fucking, two swinging dicks in here.
Yeah, that's why Liam Neeson was in the first one.
Yeah.
in the Batman Begins.
That's why they're like, all right, well, we've just, we threw him in there. We can't get another guy in there.
We need some of that BDE in here. You know what I mean? Let us know, guys. What did you think of the Batman? Is it the Batman you've been waiting for, or are you just like, oh, it was too long, I hate this? I don't know. I can't see that many people not liking it, except the length. Like, I feel like there's a lot of like unwilling girlfriends who went to see it who are like, oh, it's too long. But I think most people who are at least somewhat interested in Batman would really, really enjoy this. So
I went on Rotten Tomatoes and I was trying to look to see what the bad reviews, and one was that it's too long. I was like, oh, it's a bladder busting movie. It's like, come on, dude. Like, Lord of the Rings.
Control yourself.
Yeah. Like, all right, don't drink so much soda. Or, excuse yourself. Go to the fucking bathroom during one of the slow
Piss
parts.
your pants like the baby you are.
Or in your soda cup, Just be a man. The other one was it was too gritty. It's like, it's fucking Batman. Like, it's supposed to be gritty.
Yeah, anyone who wants a non-gritty Batman doesn't understand who Batman is. You know what I mean? He's not Spider-Man. He's not Iron Man. He's down on the streets cleaning up the scum and villainy that infests Gotham. Yeah, I don't know. I can't see a reason to hate this movie. It was great. Let us know what you think. We're interested to hear. Put it down in the comments. Hit us up on the social medias at NerdsWithFriend. Make sure you like and subscribe, whether you're on YouTube or Spotify, Stitcher, Apple Podcasts, anywhere you get your pod, whether you're in your eye holes or in your ear holes or both. We do appreciate that. And if you want to help support the show, check out patreon.com/nerdswithfriends. For a couple bucks a month, you can help support us. I think even $1 a month would be helpful.
We need to get some new mic cables.
Yeah, we need some new mic cables and maybe some new fancy mics. I'd like some new mic stands. Yeah, you can support us at patreon.com/nerdswithfriends. All that info at nerdswithfriendspodcast.com. And thank you to our patrons who are currently supporting the show. We do appreciate you month after month. That's why we raise your names. We grapple hook them like Batman. Pull it up.
You're going to have to have them go up and then dangle down.
You should dangle down. I can't do that. I'm not smart enough. But we do appreciate you guys. Thank you very much. Christian, thanks for being the Robin to my Batman.
I'm down as long as I don't get shot in the spine.
Yeah, I would love a Robin in this movie.
A good Robin.
And Robert Pattinson said that he would only do Robin if he's actually a little kid, and they have to explore why Batman thinks it's a good idea to have a small child.
I'm down.
Yeah, 100% down. To all the nerds out there, remember, you're not alone. You're with friends. And I am vengeance. Have a great night.